What up, good friends? 3-day weekend. And that means it's usually time for a reading vlog, so that's what I'm gonna do. As most of you know, I don't really do sci-fi very much, and I've been trying to get into it. May the 4th is coming up. As we know, that's Star Wars Day. My friends have been telling me that Star Wars is like science fiction fantasy because evidently the Jedis are just wizards in space, and I like fantasy, so what better book for the week of May the 4th than the start of the Fallen trilogy by Timothy Zahn. So it will be the first Star Wars book I ever read. I have seen the original trilogy, I've seen the prequel trilogy, and I've seen The Force Awakens. And the only Star Wars movie I can really say that I actually 4-star liked would be Rogue One. I really liked that movie. I saw it in theaters. It was kind of cool to see the return of Darth Vader after all those years. And my brother liked it too. I saw it with my brother. So, let's get to reading. May the Force be with us, and roll that intro. Saturday morning, I'm 8% of the way through the book. We've got the characters that I know: Luke, Leia, Han, the furry man, and no, I'm not talking about the hot guy from The Witcher who has lots of chest hair. No, the furry Chewbacca. We got Chewbacca. And C-3PO. So no little beep beep R2-D2 guy though. We don't have him. I'm really liking it. I'm jiving with the writing for the most part. Zahn does do a couple of my pet peeves. He starts sentences with improper gerundic phrases, and he doesn't really show. He kind of just tells, panic crawled up Leia's spine. So we just met a character named Mara, and I hear she's a great character. I do know a little bit of a spoiler about her. I think if it's the woman I'm thinking of. But I've been watching a lot of Star Wars YouTube videos to kind of get some background knowledge. I will go ahead and say that I am a Disney fan, and since I didn't really grow up with Star Wars that much, I don't have a huge opinion about Legends, the EU, all that. But I'm watching somebody who does. Mike, go ahead and tell us what you think.
I feel like a company like Disney that has their shit together very clearly, they don't realize what they had, and they didn't go into a trilogy with a full story.
Very spicy. Let's make it very spicy. Love the spice. Yeah, like that. That's great. For someone who's not a Star Wars fan, I am actually having a really good time reading this book. I really like Princess Leia. She's kind of a badass. She's like rebel pregnant warrior. Yes, she's pregnant with twins in this book. Luke is kind of meh, and Han is a little bit annoying. C-3PO, meh. But Thrawn is an interesting character. He's actually the villain in this series, and there are some pretty cool special editions of this series out there. I've heard that this book does get sloggy, but so far I'm seeing a lot of fantasy elements where it's even the names of things, like the Tower of Law when they get to a certain planet. So I'm honestly not, well, I am surprised, but I shouldn't be surprised that I like space fantasy novels. And Timothy Zahn is a pretty decent writer. Yes, he has some of my pet peeves, but I'm very much enjoying and connecting to his writing. I'm liking the characters. I feel some twists going on, and I'm not going to give any spoilers, but who knows? I may just be a Star Wars girl in the making.
My child. Go. Go. We have a long ride ahead of us.
For Rogue One, rolling behind me back there, and wow, I didn't remember how good this was. This was right up my alley. It was gritty. It had a lot of realism elements in it. It was pretty dark. And I didn't know this when I first saw it, but it actually stars Felicity Jones, who won an Oscar for The Theory of Everything. I read some reviews of it. Evidently, some people didn't like the script, but I think I've read so many crappy self-published like fantasy stories this year that mediocre dialogue feels kind of good at this point. But you know, it was darker than the original trilogy, and the humor that was in it was more up my alley. It was not very whimsical at all, and I wouldn't call it gallows humor, but it's kind of like getting there where it's making fun of things that you shouldn't really make fun of. For example, there's an archetypical character called the Blind Seer. I'm sure you know who I'm talking about if you've seen Rogue One. And there's the part in the movie where he's captured and they put a hood over his head and he's like, really? I'm blind. So yeah, I'm sticking with 4 stars. It did drag a little bit in the middle, but since May the 4th's coming up, maybe I'll watch the trilogy. Who knows? I haven't seen it in a long time. Obviously, I do know the twist that comes in the second movie when Luke loses his hand, but well done, Disney. I enjoyed it. Major tonal differences between this and Rogue One. I can really see why I preferred Rogue One to the original trilogy. 43% of the way through, and I have reached the slog. We're just like wondering what we're gonna do with Leia. Luke's trying to escape, and it's like, get with the program. Move on, bruh. Ugh. Decent way to spend a lunch break, though. 8 a.m. May the 3rd. Oh, I'm really hoping I can finish tonight or tomorrow so I can have this video out, but I'm only 56% of the way through, and I've had a lot of trouble sleeping lately, so every time I try to read, I just kind of like nod off like that. So we're gonna keep going. I'm actually kind of excited to see what happens with Thrawn, because he's a really good villain, and he's not quirky like Darth Vader. He's very stoic. So Timothy Zahn made a really good decision and did a really good job of just not making him Darth Vader. So we've got an instance of this woman named Mara, who is very annoyed with Luke. She's very domineering over him. And I asked somebody about my suspicions towards them in their budding relationship, and I was right. So it's pretty obvious. Thanks, Zahn.
Yeah, I need you right now.
So don't let me down. I'm losing my mind now. 86% of the way through. Am I gonna finish today? Probably not. I don't know. We'll see. According to Kindle, I have an hour and 45 minutes left of reading. I just don't know. I mean, it's gotten good again. It's gotten exciting. We're kind of approaching the climax, but I'm getting a little tired of reading. I may read Fables when I get home as kind of like a palate cleanser. Will I finish this book on May the 4th? Doubt it, but I still like it. If you've made it this far in the video, you're probably wondering, Amanda, why are you reading at work? Well, I teach seniors, and their grades are actually due May 9th. Well, it's May 5th, and I've already graded everything. So this is my planning period, and I have nothing to plan. So it's basically a prolonged lunch break. Normally we like pack up our classroom, but the classroom's not really messy, so there's nothing to pack up. So I'm ahead of the ball game. If they don't need me, they're probably going to use me as like a test administrator for the rest of the year, but they haven't assigned me yet, so we're all good. There was a massive twist in this book regarding Mara Jade and her backstory. Slight spoiler, it has something to do with the Slugman, and I just absolutely ate it up. Mind blown. And I do like that she is a redhead, but it's just kind of funny to me that everyone thinks redheads have green eyes. I don't. And my sister's a redhead, she has blue eyes, so not all redheads have green eyes, but that's okay. It's also kind of clever that she has green eyes, her last name's Jade, so I'm really excited to finish this. Wow, so it actually turns out that the novel ends at 94%. So I totally could have finished last night. There's like 45 minutes worth of just extras. But quick review. This was very entertaining. But I think if I knew more about Star Wars, I probably would have liked it more, as there were some characters that interacted with like the three main people that I know, like Han, Luke, Leia. I know them very well, but Lando is a character that I've heard of, but I don't know a lot about him, and he had a fairly large role in this book. I did finish watching A New Hope, and I liked the ending of it more than the beginning. I started the next one, Empire Strikes Back, and I like the Ice Planet part of it. Kind of reminds me of Ice Planet Barbarians. And I know there's a Rogue One book, not the novelization, but one that's like a side story. That one I will probably read. I will probably also read Kenobi. Hopefully this will get me a little bit more familiar with Lando, as will watching the rest of the trilogy. So then I will most likely continue this trilogy and finish it, because I really enjoyed it, and most of all Mara Jade. I want more of Mara Jade.
So before I sign off, I would like to give a thank you to the channels that helped me prepare for this, decide which book to read, chatted me up a little bit. So first of all, you already saw him, Mike's Book Reviews. There's Ben the Overlord Books, Ponderings of Pete, and Jonathan Cohn. Thank you guys so much. I will also tag another channel that I had, which I can't think of off the top of my head, that is specifically dedicated to Star Wars. They did like a bookshelf tour. Also, there's another channel that I will tag, and I'll probably put all of these names down, that got me kind of interested in Star Wars books, because he has a video about a very weird like child Star Wars book. I'll link him. But I am so happy I read this. This might be the best outcome from a reading vlog I've done, and it's full of positivity, so hit that thumbs up. So that's it for me, guys. I didn't finish this on May the 4th, May the 5th at 10:53 a.m. So guys, may the force be with you, and happy